Let me tell you something that's been bubbling under the surface of the WNBA this season. There's a player who's not just surviving in the league. They're redefining what it means to be a point guard in the modern game. And I'm not talking about the usual suspects. No, this is someone who's quietly turned their career around in a way that's both impressive and slightly underdiscussed. Caitlin Clark. Yeah, that name. The one that's been attached to all sorts of off-court drama. But now she's playing like a player who's finally found her rhythm. Let's unpack why this season feels different for her, and why it might just be the start of something bigger. Here's the thing. When you watch Clark play now, it's like watching a chess master who's finally figured out the endgame. She's not just scoring, she's orchestrating. Last Tuesday's game against the Storm was a masterclass. 32 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. But what really caught my attention wasn't the numbers themselves. It was the efficiency. She's shooting 44.3% from the field and 35.4% from three, both career highs. That's not just good. That's elite. And yet, I keep thinking, why isn't this the story everyone's talking about? Maybe because people are still fixated on the noise around her instead of the brilliance on the court. Let's get real for a second. Clark's rookie season was already stacked with talent. She averaged 21.5 points and 7.9 assists, numbers that would make any guard envious. But she shot 41.7% from the field and 34.4% from three. Last year, injuries limited her to just 13 games, and her shooting dipped. But this year, she's not just bouncing back, she's surpassing her own expectations. And here's what's wild. She's doing it while averaging fewer turnovers per game than ever before. That's the kind of growth that separates good players from great ones. It's not just about scoring, it's about control. And Clark, she's got the ball in her hands, and she's not letting it go. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but wait, she's still not hitting threes at the rate she did in college. True, she shot 37.7% from deep in college, and while her current 35.4% is still solid, there's a ceiling she hasn't quite reached yet. But here's the kicker. She doesn't need to be a three-point specialist to be dominant. Her ability to create for others, her playmaking, her decision-making, that's what's making the Fever one of the most dangerous teams in the league. They're fifth in the standings, but they're just a game and a half behind the Aces. And they're averaging 95.8 points per game. That's not just winning, that's dismantling opponents. Let's talk about the bigger picture for a moment. The WNBA is in the middle of a seismic shift. Teams are prioritizing guards who can score, assist, and defend, and Clark checks all those boxes. She's 24 years old, and she's still figuring out her peak. But what's fascinating is how she's managed to elevate her game despite the noise. She's not just a product of her talent. She's a product of her resilience. And that's what makes her story so compelling. It's not just about the stats. It's about the narrative of a player who's refused to be defined by the drama, and instead chosen to let her performance speak for itself. So here's my question. When we look back at this season, will we remember it as the year Clark finally silenced the doubters? Or will it be the beginning of an even greater run? Either way, one thing is clear. She's not just playing basketball. She's rewriting the script for what it means to be a star in this league. And that's a story worth watching.